to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, today, we're going to introduce you to two Crosse, Logan track and field stars that just competed in the state meet here in La Crosse a couple of weeks ago. As we tape the show, the high school days behind you. Today's special guests, Joe Bond and Dion Smith. New chapter in your life. As you look back at your high school days, Joe, a lot of people live in the temple of regret. Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I get involved in this? What about Joe Bond?
Probably my biggest thing is just getting in the weight room more. I mean, I performed really well, but I'm sure there was more there if I would have put in more work and stuff. I'm sure there's more like programs I could have gotten involved in high school, but overall, I feel like I had a pretty well-rounded high school career, but there are a few regrets, like not lifting or something like that. And
Dion Smith, you took advantage of every opportunity, I think, but maybe there were some things as you look back, like, I wish I would have done differently.
Yeah, there's like when I look back now, I feel like there's a few days that I just wish I would have lifted harder, or when I was younger and a freshman, I wish I would have had the same mindset I do now, because now, like, I always just want to go after things and get as much as I can. When I was a freshman, like, I was just kind of like laid back and just doing the bare minimum as I could just to get by. But
well, when you look at your high school days, I like the saying to give nothing but the best is to sacrifice the gift. You both were given a gift. Joe, you were given a gift. And you utilized all of it academically. You utilized it, and you took advantage of your gift as a multi-sport athlete too.
Yeah, from an early age, I always learned that grades are important, and in high school, they're probably the most important if you're trying to get into college and stuff. So I put my best foot forward and just pushed it out. I mean, grades came pretty easy to me. Classes I never really struggled in too much, just probably because I put in the work earlier in life, and it paid off in high school. Athletically, I've always been a fan of sports. I played baseball when I was younger. I planned on playing baseball in high school until my dad made me go out for the track team my 8th grade year. I realized kind of was pretty good at that, so I stuck with it through high school, and now, I mean, obviously I've had plenty of success with it. So
there was a silver lining to Dad and his ability to see the gift you had in track and field, and you were reluctant, but he knew exactly what he was doing, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. He was a pretty good track athlete himself, and he wanted to see me at least try it, and I was always against it, but 8th grade year I was like, you know what, I'm not doing anything this spring. I'll give it a shot, and it paid off in the long run.
Well, I followed you too, Dion, both of you. I followed you track and football, wrestling, multi-sport athlete, and a leader, and well-respected. And so you did everything you could, and you left a good legacy at Logan.
Yeah, I just feel like sports to me just were everything. Like, it just kept my mind off of everything. So every time like I was stressed about something, when I went and lifted, or I was wrestling or playing football, it just clear eyes, and I just felt amazing doing it.
Well, you had success in all three sports, and you left a legacy. What if I went back to Logan and asked some things about Dion Smith? What would some of your instructors and maybe your peers say about you?
I'd say they'd probably say that I work really hard, and sometimes they try to keep me away from work, like, because I'm putting in too much time or I'm working too hard, and they tell me I have to back off a little bit, but I just never knew how to quit.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, as we look at what you accomplished in track and field, there was a great article in the paper a couple of weeks ago that talked about an incredible bond between the two of you. And of course, you ended your high school career by getting to the big stage, track and field, and you did it together. How important is that? Your friendship was documented in that article back when you were very, very young, and you always supported one another, didn't you, Joe?
Yeah, it pretty much started back in our 8th grade year, like right off the bat. I came out, and me and him were going head-to-head. It carried through freshman, sophomore, and then senior year, because he tore his ACL his junior year, but I mean, he came back strong as ever senior year, and I think without each other, neither of us would be where we are.
Two high-level athletes, two well-respected athletes that never were looking for the limelight or spotlight, but worked hard to get there. A lesson for young people watching the show. And you reached the pinnacle of success as friends, and you watched each other compete. And that was special. You didn't have exactly the same success. In fact, let's kind of go through that. Your relay races and your hurdles.
For the relays, like, we were more of like a team then, so then, like, when we were battling against everyone else, and we both wanted to hit the fastest times we could, because then it was both benefiting each other. And then for the hurdles, it was kind of just like a back and forth battle. Like, he'd be winning one race, then I'd come back and win the next race, and it just kept making us push each other, so we never wanted to lose to each other.
So you identified in your profile that your biggest competitor and your opponent is each other and you. It reminds me of a quote that says, I've met the enemy, and the enemy is within.
Yep.
And that describes you, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was like, if I wanted to beat someone, it was definitely him, but like the one thing probably holding me back the most was myself, and just maybe putting a little bit extra reps or something on the track, or going over a few more hurdles, just having myself, telling myself, like, slow down or something. That was probably my biggest, like, most thing holding me back.
Were you hard on yourself? Because, you know, a lot of really good athletes that reach a high level are hard on themselves.
I was probably hard on myself a little bit, but I mean, I was pretty successful too, so I had to like embrace that. I always wanted to do better, but sometimes I was like, that was a good race, I was happy with it, but I always found that there was room for improvement too.
Well, you're both leaders, and Dion, when Joe didn't maybe do his best, or he was having a bad day, or any of your teammates, you as a senior, as a leader, how did you handle that?
I kind of like would talk to them, but if they weren't like listening, I just wanted to show like as a demonstration. So like when I work, I just keep working harder and harder, and I could tell that there's people on the track team that looked at me like that's how he got to where he is because of how hard he works. So if I want to get to where I want to be, then they're gonna have to work hard too.
So advice to people that want to be a Joe Bond or a Dion Smith someday, and young people watching. I mean, there's no easy secret to success. It's hard shoe leather, and it's going above and beyond. Would you say that, Joe?
That's for sure. I mean, in order to be kind of like us, I mean, obviously a lot of hard work is needed. Start early as you can, and have a fire within that wants you to like push harder and be successful in what you do.
And you had that fire within, both academically and athletically.
I did from an early age. Going
back down memory lane, people that maybe inspired you when you were younger to reach a high level. Well, who would some of those people be, Dion?
My mom, because when I was younger, she'd always tell me, like, you can do this, you'll be able to reach whatever goals you want. And I doubted myself a lot and didn't know, like, if I actually could, so I was always, like, hard on myself. But my mom was there every moment just telling me to just keep pushing and my goals will come true.
Were there times when there was some self-doubt?
Oh, yes, a lot of it. When I was younger, every time, like, I'd look at myself in the mirror, I'd be like, I don't think I can make it to state, or I don't think I'll be able to beat these kids. But then my mom just kept telling me, just keep working hard, keep going after and be patient, and it will come true.
And Joe, when you talked about your friendship developing in the 8th grade, and I'm sure you had, like a lot of people, you had that vision of maybe someday getting to the state level. And I watched both of you compete, by the way. I was at Roger Herring Stadium watching you. But you had dreams, but did you actually think that was going to happen?
Well, we've been friends since the 1st grade. I mean, 8th grade years when we really started competing on the track, and then freshman year, we both realized that there's quite a bit of potential, and our dreams at that point definitely shifted towards state. And my sophomore year and our sophomore year, we made it to state for the 4x4 relay. I ran, he was an alternate, but we both made it, and I'm sure because I ran, I mean, that gave him a little bit of more motivation over it, and I always kind of picked away at him with it.
So you fed off each other.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Well,
That's for sure.
that's good to know. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to step aside, and when we come back, more on two special athletes, Logan Ranger Track and Field. We'll be right back.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Today we're talking to two special athletes, Joe Bond, Dion Smith, Logan Rangers, competing in the state track and field meet just a couple of weeks ago. Joe, take us through your state meet experience. I watched you Friday, watched you Saturday. When it was determined that you didn't make it to Friday and Saturday in the 300 meters hurdles, how'd you feel?
My 300 meter hurdles have been my strong race like all year. So Friday when I didn't run at my best and didn't qualify for Saturday, I mean, I was kind of hurt, like it kind of sucked, but I knew I had another race. I had the 4x4 and I had to perform there. And later that day we ran 3:22, which is was a second offer stool record, but a season PR for us as a team. We qualified going in 6th into Saturday for it, and I mean that pretty much boosted my confidence back up. I may have not made it in the 300s, but I mean our 4x4 performed well, and that had me excited for the Saturday.
Watched a lot of people at the state meet supporting you, and behind your success academically, athletically, throughout your career, you've had a lot of people behind you, haven't you?
Oh, my entire family in the area. Most of my family lives within 15 minutes of me in here. So, I mean, like, every track meet my grandparents would come to. My parents, I think, haven't missed a track meet in, like, 2 years probably. They're every day supporting me. So, yeah, state was no different. Everyone showed up. They were cheering loud, and it helped a lot.
How special is that? Wow. And Dion, a lot of people, including me, big Dion Smith supporters.
Yeah, I had a lot of people just cheering for me and telling me that I could do it the whole week up until then, and it was a dream come true because I never thought I'd make it to state and actually be running. So then once I got there, I had a lot of family come, and they're all just sitting there smiling, cheering at me.
Let's move to the next chapter of your life. Now you move on, and you'll be successful, I am sure, in the next chapter and beyond. But what's on the horizon for Dion Smith?
Well, next year I'm going to UWL and I'm running track there, and I'm really excited for that. Sports to me are just everything. Like when I was sitting out and stuff, like I just could not stay focused on some things because when I got stressed, I just didn't know what to do. But then I found out when I'm lifting or running or something, it just goes away, and then I just feel calm and I can just see everything. And
now the head track coach is a good friend of mine, Bucky, and he does say that he wants and recruits people like you, but he does say you got to go to the classroom too. You got to be involved in academics.
Yeah.
So talk about a little bit about that. What's your major, if you plan on, and then what your career?
I'm going to UWL, and then I want to be either an athletic trainer or PT when I'm older, so I'm going to go there and then start out with movement class. I forgot what it's called, and then hopefully going on to get into their athletic training program there.
And Joe, I know you are going to be going a little bit south of here.
A little bit.
So talk a little bit about your college and your career.
I'm attending UW-Madison this fall. Basically just my generals at first year, but my second year I'm trying to get into their business school there. It's a pretty selective process, so I'm going to have to try pretty hard to get in there and stuff.
Well, you'll do well because academically you were solid. Some of your favorite classes, favorite teachers at Logan?
I've always been strong in like my math classes, so like Mr. Mincy, Mr. Morrell, they've always helped me out with everything. English is kind of my downfall, but the teachers there, they helped me out and got me through that. Sciences and stuff, that comes pretty natural, so I didn't really ever struggle with that.
So your family has a business. Someday you may just do that or start your own business?
I'm kind of just open wherever the road takes me. If the road leads me back to the family business and I take that over, so be it. I'll be proud with happy with that. But if it leads me down some other path and I have to move away or something for bigger and better things, I mean, I'm not against that either.
I'm not sure if the family wants you to move too far away.
I don't know about
You're
that.
certainly, and of course, Dion, you were a favorite of a lot of teachers, I know, because I talked to them being over there as often as I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like teachers like me because when I wanted to do something, I'd go after it and get it. So, and I worked hard in school and everything, but just my focus is other places, and then I just do like the bare minimum to get it passed. But I always had like a positive attitude, always smiling, caring for everyone in the classroom. So I just brought a good attitude there.
Yeah, you have that effervescent smile, and you light up a room. There's no question about it. Toughness has probably been a strong part of both of you, but you both had injuries, and and the successful people are able to be resilient and bounce back from injuries. Those that are not successful crumble and don't really achieve success. You had injuries and you bounced back. Talk about your injuries.
Well, my junior year, I injured my knee in wrestling, and then like right there, before that, I was hoping I'd make it to stay in wrestling, and I was just loving wrestling and just so positive about everything. But then when I injured my knee, it just brought me down, and I just thought everything was going to end. But I got a lot tougher from that. My mindset changed, and then I just said I had to work double as hard or triple as hard to come back and make all the goals I want and everything. So.
And so you achieved your success and because of mental toughness. Mm-hmm. You talked about your mom earlier, but I thought this was kind of interesting off camera. We talked a little bit about another role model. In fact, an icon that passed away about a year ago.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him hanging up in my room all over the place. He's like just my hero. Every time I think of someone that isn't in my family that is a positive role model, it's Muhammad Ali.
He had a lot of quotes. Of course, we know a lot of them, but one of my favorites is this one: "He who is not willing to take a risk will accomplish nothing in life." Mm-hmm. Have you taken any risks?
Not any that were really major. Well, hurdles my freshman year, I guess, because Joe and I both thought when our coach told us that we were going to be doing hurdles, we were like, we don't know about that. We're more of just a sprint kind of guys, but that was a risk that we took and definitely paid off.
Are you a risk taker, Joe?
Yeah, just like he said with the hurdles. I mean, when Hatch said we're going to try out on hurdles, I was like, looked at him like he was crazy, man. That was not going to happen in my mind.
What's something that our viewers might be interested to know about Joe Bond? What's something that's not well known?
There's not much. I mean, a lot of people know pretty much everything about me. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, to be honest.
So you're an open book?
Yeah.
What you see is what you get?
Kinda.
There's nothing else there.
Not much.
You're a leader. Philosophy of leadership.
Just someone who's easy to follow. Like they're not forceful upon it. Like people follow them naturally, and they always have the best interest of the group and everything.
All of us have a favorite saying. What would yours be?
I was watching a movie with Will Smith in it the other day, and there's some quote about fear. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but like, fear is just in your mind. It's not an actual thing. It's just you fear like the future, but like you're never sure what the future like holds. So why be afraid of it?
Does the future scare you a little bit?
I mean, moving away, I've never even moved out of my house. I've lived in the same one for 18 years, so I'm a little scared moving down to Madison, but I'm sure I'll adapt and have a great time.
Homesickness on the horizon, possibly?
I've traveled quite a bit. I'm used to being away from home, but I'm sure after a month or two, I'll be like, it's a little bit different.
If you could change something in the world, because the world is kind of a tenuous situation now, what would you change in the world?
I just wish everyone could get along. I mean, there seems to be too much fighting, to be honest. Just too much bickering and all that stuff. Just get along. I don't know why you can't like someone sitting right next to you.
And you do that, but you're right. That's happened since the beginning of time, but it seems to be more prevalent now. But would you change anything dramatically if you could, Dion Smith?
I feel like maybe like happiness. I wish everybody that could just be happy and have more positive and want to go after things. I feel like a lot of people now are like down on themselves or doubt what they can do, but I feel like if they can just have a little bit more like positive thoughts or something, maybe.
Are you happy?
Oh yeah.
You're content?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people in this world are not content at all. How have you been able to master a level of joyfulness?
I feel like I've changed a lot just because now I'm more proud of myself and who I am, so now I know like that better days will come after like a bad day, so when I'm down I know, okay, in a week this will be just nothing to me, I probably will forget about it, so I just know that things will get better.
What's Dion's philosophy of life?
I'd say just I feel like everybody needs to be happy and happiness is key.
And what about your favorite saying that you think about when you put your head on a pillow at night or get up in the morning?
I think tomorrow I have to make it better than it was today.
And do you do that?
I try to.
You're both shining examples of humility and hard work. Advice for somebody, young people watching the show that you think maybe would glean some knowledge from you.
I'd say just keep your head up and keep going forward, and just whenever there's a hurdle in your life, just jump over it.
So life is not a 4-lane expressway, is it?
Oh, no.
Closing thought by Joe Bond. What do you want to leave your experience in terms of advice for young people?
People always told me like freshman year, middle school all the way to freshman year, like you're gonna regret not working hard. So I mean, get after it. Put your best foot forward every day. I mean, obviously I'm probably like a broken record right now, but it's true. After 4 years of high school and now it's all over. I mean, looking back, I wish I would have put more time in, worked a little harder.
Is it emotional knowing that it's all over?
I've been prepared for it, so it's a little saddening, but I think I can manage it.
But you feel good about what you've accomplished, and we've talked about that, and we feel good that you were able to take time to be on our show. So we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you stay in contact in the future. We'll watch you compete at UWL. We'll keep an eye on you all the way down to Madison. And two certainly success stories, Joe Bond, Dion Smith. It's been a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. I hope you enjoyed our interview with Joe Bond and Dion Smith, two outstanding Logan High School student athletes. Well, congratulations to student athlete C.J. Siegel, just released today, and he's committed to play D1 football at the University of North Dakota. C.J. will begin his senior year at Logan High School, and he will be on the show along with many other guests as we look into the month of August as we begin talking about high school and college football. A reminder that we'll have many games here, both at the high school and the University of Wisconsin lacrosse Eagle football here on KQEG. Plenty of youth and adult recreation activities on the calendar for the summer months. I'm looking forward to competing in the Firecracker 4-mile race this weekend as Riverfest begins at Riverside Park. We are broadening our list of guests as we continue to look for ways to improve our show for you, our viewer. We'd like to hear from you, so if you have a thought, please contact us here at the studio. Check your local listings as we continue to bring you Nights of Thunder Racing every Thursday and Sunday night at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an exciting and active and a healthy week ahead.